Yo, what's up, y'all? This your boy Raw coming at you raw. I hope your day is all well and God bless you for stopping by. This is episode 17 of GamIN Talk, and we are gonna do this. We're gonna do this with my boy Lifespiller. Before I introduce him, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe here for more gaming news from console to PC, and maybe even tablets and phones. Going back to who I just said, Lifespiller, say hey to the people.
What's good, everybody? It's Lifespiller in the building again, man. It feels good to be back. You know where to check me at. Just hit me up on the link in the description.
That's right. All his link and stuff will be in the description as well as in the annotation. Now, we got a good show for you guys. Let's get into it with the first topic. And before that, all this topic and everything will be in the description. Follow part by part in the description. All of it's going to be down there, as well as go to the playlist on my channel, GamIN Talk Shorts. It'll be there too. But let's go on with the first topic. All right, we are at our first topic of GamIN Talk, episode 17, with my boy Lifespiller. It is Xbox One S is a trap for PlayStation Neo? Question mark, explanation mark, and then a question mark again. Listen, why I say this, look, I was looking at some YouTube videos earlier this week, and people were talking about how, they were confused why Microsoft announced the PlayStation, news here first. Xbox announces the new PlayStation, Xbox announces Xbox One S, and why do they do it then, why did they do it right before they announced the Scorpio? And people were saying, the Xbox One S, it's gonna be a nice console if the Scorpio wasn't coming out. But why would Microsoft say, here's an Xbox One S, and then if you wait, you could get the Scorpio? They didn't say if you wait, but they might as well have. But let me say this, the question is Xbox One S a trap for PlayStation Neo? Because if you remember, when news started coming out for the Nintendo NX, then we started hearing news about the PlayStation Neo, and some people felt like Sony had to answer that Neo, that NX with the Neo. And then again, we don't know if these companies and developers are releasing these rumors, right? These are right, because PlayStation 4K we heard that at GDC, I believe. Sony was talking to developers, and that's factual, about the PlayStation 4K. But going back to the topic at hand, is Xbox One S a trap for PlayStation Neo? I'm gonna say this so you can understand what I mean. PlayStation Neo is rumored to come out this year, right? Xbox One S was announced at E3 to come out this year, and I truly believe, put your tin foil caps on, I truly believe Microsoft is trying to bait Sony's Neo out in the wild with the Xbox One S. I think Apple doesn't do this. Apple does not announce the 7 when they're talking about the 6. Nobody announces their Knicks when they're talking about their Now. No one does that. That's like suicide to that product, because then people will say, I will wait, like we have been saying with the Xbox One S. I think they're trying to bait Sony's PlayStation Neo out. Why? Because they want to have the strongest console. They want Neo to come out, and then Scorpio to come out right above it, right on top of it. And because now, look, if PlayStation Neo is the next PlayStation until 3 years down the line, then Sony's going to be the weaker console versus the Scorpio. And I'll tell you right now, Microsoft having the Scorpio come out late, 2017, and having the One S come out in August, I think that's in 2 weeks, if not 1 week. I think at the end of the day, they're trying to bait Neo to come out so their specs, the Neo specs, can be solid. This is the Neo specs. It's out. And look, it could come out next year, early next year. Microsoft just wants to be stronger than Sony's console. I really believe that Xbox wants to be stronger than Sony's console. Because if they don't, if let me say this, if Sony says nope, we're not going to take your bait and release the Neo after the Scorpio, maybe 2018, which they should do. Like the Neo should come out 2018. Now that I thought about it, because the Neo will snuff out PlayStation VR. You know, people will much rather get a stronger PS4 than spend $400 on something for the PS4. You feel me?
Right.
So, what do you say about all this? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think Xbox One S, the whole reason why they would basically send out a sacrificial lamb to bait Sony into getting it, and then they come out with they big dog and eat Sony's? But go ahead. Put your tin cap on. Make sure it fits, right? Make sure you know.
Well, I think with the whole thing anyway, when you think about it, like dealing with the PlayStation and dealing with Microsoft, right now, it seems like to me PlayStation is on fire. So it doesn't matter what timing they bring out the Neo. I have a weird suspicion that the price is going to be the factor in this whole thing. And the reason why I say that is that, like, when I look at the Neo, we already have got like the speculated price on it to be like $400 to $450 or something like that. And we already know that based off of what Microsoft has said, they said that the Scorpio is going to be more powerful. They've already named the teraflops and all that other stuff. So getting back to the topic at hand, do I think that the Xbox X is a trap for the Neo? No, because I don't think Sony is phased at this moment. It's just like when Nintendo Wii was on this game, and it was basically leading everything. There wasn't really nothing to worry about. So it's almost like Sony is driving with their blinders on. They don't see nobody else right now. Now, if Microsoft was what we would consider competition and they weren't being beat by 20 million consoles at this moment, then it would be a whole different thing. It would be a different conversation that we would be having. But I guess the way I'm looking at it, I think if anybody screwed themselves, I think Microsoft screwed themselves by announcing the Xbox S and the Scorpio on the same day.
Now, I want to ask you, what would be your reason why they did that? You know?
I think they just wanted to show what they had. They, for some odd reason, they felt like, and I felt like when they announced the Scorpio, that was like a last-minute type move. That wasn't like properly strategized. Even though they try to put this whole little video together as though they got all of Microsoft team to give their little input as to what they thought.
What?
Be like, you know what I'm
saying? You think that video was shot in the back?
Man, that was kind of a last-minute thing, because if that's the big draw, like what Sony did, they brought out God of War first, so they brought out their big dogs. They know that's a big seller. God of War sold like 25 million copies or more if you combine the whole series. It's probably more than that. But my thing is, if that was something that was going to be a big selling point or a big lead point to get you riled up, then I felt like that was something to lead with. But like we've discussed in prior podcasts, the fact that they really didn't have a prototype to show us, all they could do was just tell us. So it was almost like they had to sell the Scorpio to a blind man.
Oh.
That's all they had to go with. They only could tell you stuff. They couldn't show you no prototype. They couldn't actually show you no resolution, no output, or what it would actually look like to give you some idea. So that means you don't have any demos. You are just working off a prototype at this precise moment. So that means we still got a lot of work to do.
Let me say this about the whole showing off barely nothing when it comes to Scorpio. Basically just confirming it with the fans and saying it does exist. Project Scorpio. I think those are all placeholders, man. Like, I really truly believe that why would you send out your now and talk about your Knicks? Why would you do that? And man, I'm telling you, man, my tinfoil hat is strapped on tight. Like, seriously, I think that Microsoft, and I know you already said you don't think this, but man, it makes so much sense Microsoft wants to be the stronger console, and
of course, they want to see what they got. They want to see, of course, they want to see what Sony got because they probably feel like Sony may have lied about what's under the hood.
Yeah, and if
so
Sony,
they were like, well, let's bring it out.
Right,
you got it. You really got it. You really got it. Go ahead and bring it out. And so now they've been talking as though they're going to bring it out within this certain time frame. And like we discussed, it would make sense for them to bring it out with the VR, and then that would be a great selling point, even though it's going to be two devices that you're going to have to pay for at one time. But it's going to bring out the best out of the VR. So I see it as a good thing. But yeah, I can see where you're going as far as like a trap and bait type of situation.
Yeah.
Like wanting to see seeing what your competition actually has to offer, so then they can go revamp what they're doing.
Yeah.
Especially considering the fact that, everybody clings or, we cater towards the money. Like I'm saying, it's going to be about the money. So if that's the case with the PlayStation Neo, whatever it's going to be called, if they're going to stick with that name, if it's going to be $400 or $450, I already said I'm getting one. I know that if that's the price, I'm definitely getting one. It's not even up for discussion. Now, how fast or how soon I'll get one, that's all another conversation within itself. But I can see that Microsoft is doing that, but I'm not too threatened with the Xbox S. I just look at it as a slim because I was watching something a couple weeks ago, and it made complete sense. They said what we have to realize is that over the last few generations, both consoles have done the same thing. They brought out their first console of that version, whether it was the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. But then they brought out another version where it was a little bit more beefed up, maybe had more hard drive space.
Yeah.
Then they brought out another one that had the slimmer version. Like we had the PS3 Slim in 2011. Then we had the Slim Xbox 360 same year. So it's like they always have felt like they kind of had to try to outdo each other who did it best. So I guess my thing is, I think Sony's going to be able to be successful at what they're doing. And you know what? And like you said, I might even go out on a limb and say, the Scorpio is probably going to be more powerful. Doesn't mean I'm going to run out and go buy that right away. No, I'm not going to run out and get the Scorpio because, like, right now, I don't, like I've talked about before, I still don't see a reason to get it. Now, once it comes out and then maybe they have a whole lineup attached with that, or maybe the performance of the Scorpio is looking like this or whatever. But yeah, I do remember what they said with the Xbox S, with the HDR thing or whatever.
Yeah, the HDR 10.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be able to up the resolution. And that was their own quote, and that's what they got to be careful about. That's why they had to take some stuff back. I think I'm trying to remember what was talked about over the last week or so about the Xbox. About everything being released. When they had the thing is, Microsoft, they're big about crying wolf, and you have to be careful about what's factual versus them just trying to look like the big boys on the block.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because they had to take back the whole statement of saying everything's going to be on Windows 10 and then they had to recant that statement and say, no, everything that we showed at E3 is going to be on Windows 10. So they had to start taking statements back, and just like they did with the whole DRM, and then they had to take that back. And it's like, I don't see a lot of stability every now and then with Microsoft. Every now and then they sell you some stuff, and then they take it back, and then they sell you some stuff. So it's almost like
it's all over the place.
The scalpers, man. The scalpers sitting out, I got the tickets for $25, and Sony over there saying it's $50. So they're like, we got the better price over here, or we got the better product. It's like, I want to see what you actually have before you start trying to sell me. Don't sell me with some false hope and then turn around and be like, oh, wait a minute. You know what? We said it's going to be able to do 4K resolution, but really it's only going to be able to do 3.5, or it's only going to be able to do
Now,
2K,
let me say this about the whole Xbox One doing 4K, Xbox One S. Now, a lot of people, look, the reason I was thinking about the whole power thing, and Microsoft wants to bait Neo out so they can say, okay, that's Sony's answer to our Scorpio. They trying to get Sony's answer to their Scorpio with the Xbox One S, because the Xbox One S, as it stands, like, is it stronger than the PS4? as far as resolution, it's going to be able to upscale it to full, like not native, but upscaled 4K. And the frame rate, they said that it's going to be able to do the frame rate better than what the normal original Xbox is going to be able to do. So games like, I guess I want to think about recent game like Witcher 3 or Fallout 4 or Homefront: The Revolution. Those resolutions on the Xbox One S is going to be better than on the original Xbox. And in a way, on a slick note, like the Xbox One S is the next Xbox. This is the next Xbox. Being stronger, hardware wise, to the original Xbox, and them releasing, and it's like, when you put your, like, I don't know, what's that game where I have a pole, I guess, and I put my hand there and you put your hand over mine, and I keep putting my hand over yours, and you just keep putting your hand over mine, and it's like, I feel as if they're trying to say, I got my hand over yours, Sony, you gotta do it now. You gotta put your hand over mine. That's just how we've been doing it for years. And I think the smartest thing Sony can do is not take the bait and say, look, we all say, PlayStation Neo will be great alongside PlayStation VR, but I think it would hurt PlayStation VR ultimately, because there's people who don't believe in VR like the people who try to do. They should go out and try it. Like, you should go out and try it in life,
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But that's all I'm saying. Like, this whole power struggle, I think Xbox thinks that if they can say our console can do this resolution and PlayStation can't, or our console can do this frame rate and PS4 can't, I think they think that that's going to sell their console. But like you said, if Sony's price for Neo, if they do release it this year and their price is good, right, and it's a strong console that can do native games in 4K, like how the Scorpio will be able to do native 4K games. Now, if the Neo is just upscale 4K, then it's basically the Xbox One S. But what you think, man? You think if they do release a Neo and Xbox then releases the Scorpio, we may see a PlayStation 5? This is not a topic, but do you think we'll see Microsoft have the strongest console until Sony releases a new console? And let's be fast with it, because we already passed the 15-minute mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it's really, like I was saying, I stick to my guns on that. I don't really think that Sony has much to worry about.
Yeah.
Because while you was talking about all that, I was thinking about the whole thing is that what we keep getting so much emphasis put on is these consoles, but we don't put enough emphasis on the software. And that's the part that bugs me. It's like, and that's why you got the people that still are in the 7th generation dealing with the PS3 and 360. They're like, I don't really see the reason to upgrade.
Yeah.
It's nice that we have all these consoles that are coming out and they're powerful and they're claimed to do all these things, but we need more first-party games. Like,
you're right.
You even pointed out, 2 more first-party titles are coming out for Sony this year? And that's about it? And it's like, so we're doing this console. We're literally doing a console war again, but we're not doing a software war.
Like we should be doing.
We should be focused on that, and we're not even focused on that. They blinding us. They're getting us, like you said. They selling it. You said it best when you said selling a dream. They're selling a dream right now. So they're selling the dream of these consoles, but it's almost like they're creating a diversion with these remasters, these third-party titles. I'm not one to just not say I'm not going to buy remasters, but honestly I'm tired of the remasters because I'm looking for new IPs. I'm looking for new video games to play, and I'm not talking about a continuation of a series where it's another sequel, which is another thing. But I think we're so focused on consoles, and we're not even focused enough on these first-party software, because that's why I'm not getting an Xbox right now. Not until I see this greater need to even get one.
You're right.
Regardless if it's an S, regardless if it's a Scorpio, or it's just the Xbox One, period.
Yeah.
I just don't see the point right now.
And let me just say this to jump on what you just said about software being what we should be focusing on. Of course, we're talking about the Xbox One S versus the PlayStation Neo on a slick note, right? But the fact of the matter is, you know, it's not going to be power that, like, of course, Sony's PS4 being stronger than Xbox One had something to do with a lot of people's purchases back when it was coming out. But Sony's pedigree on exclusives and games, as well as, most importantly, the price, I really think it's going to come down to that over everything. Price and software. I think that's what's it's going to come down to. Because, you know, if it was all about power, we'd be on high-end PCs, you know, if it was all about power. But it's all about software, and it's all about price. So if Sony does release a new console this year, if not early next year, to beat Scorpio, and I said it on the last old video, they would have to make sure that price is on point. They can beat Scorpio by price, and their software is on point. We got No Man's Sky coming out soon, and if that game is amazing, then that could really push PS4 into a whole nother, I guess you could say, place in the market. You know, like, hey, get a PS4 so you can explore a galaxy. You know what I mean? That's going to be the conversation. Right. But yeah, though, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. This year has been crazy with Uncharted 4, Gears of War 4, all these 4s, right? But No Man's Sky, Final Fantasy, like all these things that we've been waiting for is finally happening, and you know, a stronger PlayStation 4 rumor, and with the Xbox One S and Scorpio, this year has been wild. But let me turn to the viewers. Viewers, write in the comment section. Do you guys think Xbox One is a trap for Neo? Do you think Microsoft wants a stronger console? Do you think it's important? The power of these consoles are important. Are you like me and Spiller, who truly and at the end of the day believe software and price is going to rule the day? Let us know. We'd love to read your comments, but we got to move on to our next topic. Stay tuned. Okay, we are back with the next part of GamIN Talk, episode 17, and it is, what are you playing right now? This is the giveaway winners video, and I'm gonna let you know who won the last giveaway.